definitely professional.
GMR.
GMR.
Number 30.
32.
30.
30. Wow. Wow. These mics are tricky, though.
Well, yeah, the trick is not to move them.
It's a trick, my friend.
It's a skill, but
It's a
over
skill.
30 weeks.
It's a mad skill, but 30 weeks, you'd think we'd know about it by now. At least you and I, we've been doing this 30 weeks straight.
Yeah, we're the ones who've been here each week.
Just like the old days. Who's going to show up? Why, Gene and Marty are probably going to show up tonight.
Of course.
We could money in the bank. That's money in the bank. You can just don't even bet on it because, yeah, they're going to show up.
I take the programming very seriously. If it's set up, I'm going to be there.
You have to take it seriously. Got to take it goddamn seriously. To bring God into this, let's bring God into this because you got to take it seriously.
I mean, we might only have 10 listeners a week.
But those people count on us. They're depending on us. They're going to be disappointed if that podcast doesn't come up.
That's
They're
right.
going to be like, what?
I've been getting them up on time recently. A couple weeks ago, it took until about Thursday to get one up, but hopefully that won't happen again. So
our power grows.
that's true. That hasn't been said for about the last 4 or 5 podcasts.
We're made of metal. Our circuits gleam. We are perpetual. We keep the country clean. He's electric. Electric eye. I'm electric spy.
So, Gene Marie had a household.
What? What's going on with that?
I don't know if it's exactly a power shift.
Gina Marie has... I really don't remember how she won the head household. What was the I didn't see the end of it. That's right. It was one of those...
Apparently she could walk the longest.
Oh yeah. Walking. That's an important skill in Big Brother. I guarantee you.
It's an important skill. Yeah.
Gina Marie with power, though, is just like... So, Aaron, once again, has the power. Let's just say that. Or maybe Gina Marie, maybe it'll go to her head. That'll be fucking great. Won't it?
She decides to start taking people out to
All those
avenge
people
Nick.
Yeah, exactly. Because does she really have a game plan? You know what?
Not really.
Watching the After Dark episodes, except for that one, the 3 episodes I've seen, except for that one night where they flipped the bed over, which was the night Nick got evicted, and then Aaron became the new head household. Am I right?
Yes.
That was day what? I don't know. It was episode 16 of the After Dark. So I'm not quite sure on the difference. I think it's like a 5-day difference between what day of the, how long they've been in there.
Yeah.
I haven't figured it out. So I'm really behind on these After Darks. But from what I can gather, Gina Marie is not as annoying or clown-like as they portray her on the CBS episodes. They're really trying to make her look, they're just trying to, they're manipulating us all, my friends. You're watching these CBS episodes. You're being manipulated really hard because that's not necessarily what's happening in the house. If you really want to know what's happening in the house, just pay $9.99 a month for the next, it's only 2 months. That's only, that's like $20, and you could be sitting there with your computer all day long, all night, just watching this shit. But there's a lot more going on than meets the eye. That's all I'm saying, Marty.
Or you could spend your summer listening to older GMR podcasts.
Yeah.
That's what I would recommend.
Or swim all summer.
Start
That's
from
fun.
the beginning and listen to all 30.
Yeah.
It's time. Even if you haven't heard them before or have heard them before.
Forget Big Brother. Big Brother, that.
You can just listen to us talk about Big Brother and
Yeah, why
imagine.
watch the show? Unless Ray's here, and then we're not able to talk about it because Ray hates Big Brother.
That's true. We're going to take advantage of the
Yeah,
fact that he's not here
right
tonight.
now. He'd be annoyed. He'd be blah, 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 blah. He'd be making weird noises in the corner.
Can't tolerate it for a second.
He's very obstinate when it comes to Big Brother. And Rick, I think he was a little more open to Ric Flair than Big Brother.
From what I recall of last week's, yes.
Yes. And that's refreshing for me because I love Ric Flair. And I mean that. And I'm not going to say no homo because I totally mean I love Ric Flair and everything he stands for. Homo. Pro homo. I don't know. I'm not gay, but if I were gay, I'd love to be gay with Ric Flair. Is that gay? You better not cut this out of the episode, dude. Because this is quality stuff, buddy.
Quality.
Quality, top notch. Ric Flair. Woo! But I tell you, the moving crew they're just moving on out. Moving on out. Spencer's just holding on. What's he got? He was making some sort of power play, talking a lot of smack to Amanda. And guess what? Amanda didn't leave, right? And now he has to deal with her all week long. And who do you think was her first target? Was Howard, right? That was her target all along. Howard. Now he's gone. So now she's going to probably want to get rid of Howard's partner, Spencer. Don't you think?
I did think it was highly amusing that America put her on the block.
Oh, well, that we're not even going to find out what vote she was or who she put on the block. Remember last time they were like, your first pick was Aaron, and your second pick was this, and then your third pick.
Now we're gonna have a double eviction on Thursday, which makes me wonder how the MVP is gonna work during the double eviction.
Crazy. They'll probably have an instant vote, a Twitter vote. That's how they do it on Raw. No, actually, they have on WWE. Actually, they have their own app, and you vote on their app now. So you have to download their app if you want to vote. Whereas in the past, you would just go to their website or use your phone. Mostly it was a website. That phone thing is pretty. They still do it on Big Brother. Limited 10 calls for 10 votes per phone.
Yeah.
$1.99 per call or some shit, or free on the internet. So why wouldn't you just do it free on the internet? Because I'm rich and I don't got time to go on the internet. I don't care about $10, $12, $20. Fuck it. I'll just use my phone. I'm going to buy a $10 piece of pizza or a $12 black water. How much was that black water at Comic-Con, dude? Did we ever even talk about that?
For the cost of your maximum text votes, you could just get the live feed for a month.
There you go.
But that black water, which was what we called a pot of decaf at the hotel at the Comic-Con, was
and it was
very expensive.
It's
I don't
a fucking
remember
nice
the
hotel.
number, but we thought that was highly amusing.
It was over $12, $13 for a pot of coffee that's not even going to wake you up.
Well, at least it won't spill all over the place.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not even. That's funny. That's comedy. You had to be there. You have to be at Comic-Con to know about the coffee pots, dude. Or you call that a coffee pot. I call that a coffee smot.
I call it a big wet mess.
Oh yeah, but did we clean it up? Who cleaned that up?
I don't.
We weren't drinking
remember
the coffee, so it wasn't our responsibility.
Yeah. I never touched the coffee.
I was just trying to keep my stuff from getting wet. Plus, then, we're going in that direction. Wetness at Comic-Con. Well, there was a toilet leak. We've already talked about that on the podcast, I think.
There was the leak in the trunk on the way home.
Oh, yeah, there was that leak, too. What was that? What was that fluid?
It was just water. Got all over the place.
But it was like water with some stuff in it. It was a weird bottle.
Well, it was a water. It was water that was in an old radiator fluid container.
So it had like some radiator fluid left in it.
Possibly,
A little bit. Yeah, well, where'd that stain come from?
Well, that's where that came from. Ray packed up the trunk and didn't realize that bottle was going to get squeezed. So Nothing got damaged as far as I know.
No, that washed out. It was pretty good.
But yeah,
And,
pretty much everything about Comic-Con was discussed months ago. So
well, this is interesting because there's another subject. When Big Brother ends, I'm going to be talking about it for about 3 more months.
oh yeah, you'll have lots to
Regardless.
catch up with.
Oh, I'm not going to say irregardless. Is that the right way to say it?
No,
Irregardless?
Irregardless is not a word.
Okay, well, regardless. That's what I said originally. I'll be talking about Big Brother for months after the show ends. Ad nauseum. Is that a right way to say it?
Yes.
Ad nauseum. When you're done with it, I'll still be talking about Helen, what's happening with Aaron, little details that you may have missed and the viewers may have missed.
GMR.
Chemo. Big Brother. Oh, Ric Flair. What if they just threw Ric Flair on Big Brother as the old man?
Well, that would just be too perfect.
You wouldn't like it. It'd be great for me. But you say you don't like it when they bring in celebrities or people that have made some sort of success.
It's true.
Why is that?
Because they don't need the money like Pizza Boy needs the money or Judd needs the money.
No,
you know?
Judd. Now, Judd is my blind pick. And I think he's playing a good game. But if you watch the After Darks, let me tell you this about Judd. He smoked cigarettes, and he only brought 2 cartons with him. What?
Not planning on staying long.
How many cartons did Evil Dick bring with him?
I remember when they got bleach poured on them.
Yeah. And those got replaced, though.
You're burning me on purpose.
I'm not burning you. Stop. Oh, that was a brilliant season. Season 8. If you want to see some really vintage Big Brother, if you want to get hooked, this season hasn't hooked you already.
Yeah, if you need a place to start.
Start season 8. And plus, there's After Darks. That was one of the first years that the After Darks started. I don't know if it was the first year or the second year. But there's just hours and hours and hours and hours. The hours I spent inside the Coliseum dodging lions and wasting time. That's what I always think about when I watch Big Brother. It's like, holy shit, I'm just sitting here watching these people do nothing for an hour? Because those Big Brother After Darks were like, the original ones are when it was on Showtime, like 3 hours long, so they broke down to like 2 hours and 40 minutes.
How's the censoring on the TV Guide Network versions?
Oh, well, they censor anytime anybody says fuck. Well, they censor that. They totally censor that. But I've never seen any occasions where, like, let's say nudity would be suggested. So I'm thinking that censorship would happen in the switching room, right? Not that I saw a lot of nudity last year on the After Darks or any of those, but people are pretty conscious about what they're doing when they're on live TV for the most part. And last year they had the veterans there, so those guys were way more aware. They probably already got busted like before in the past, nip slips or whatever. You walk out of the shower and you forget for a moment. All you're thinking about is drying your balls. And next thing you know, you're drying your balls in front of America. It happens.
Yeah.
What'd you think was going to happen? Woo! GMR Podcast.
GMR. Is JJ still listening to the podcasts on Shuffle?
No, it's not Shuffle. It's like a playlist. It was more like a playlist. And then it would jump. I don't really know because we moved the computer out of the jam space because it was taking up space. But I think he may have moved part of it. I don't know what's happening down there. And he's trying to catch up on that shit, like the CBS episode. So I think he's caught up enough where he feels comfortable listening to our podcast.
Are the rest of our original listeners still with us?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
How would I know that, dude?
I just thought you might know.
I haven't talked to Sarah in months. I sent her a tweet the other day, and I didn't really see a response. But then again, and I never see any of. I don't know how the Twitter works yet. I haven't quite figured it out.
Well, we do have our approximately 10 loyal listeners every week.
Shit. I'm up to like 11 followers on Twitter, dude. 11. I got 2 or 3 the other day, just blind ones. I started following people Dan Gosling was following. It's like, oh, he's following these people, and Dan Gosling must know what's going on. He won Big Brother, and he almost won another time.
Last week, you were asking Ray if he followed Dan on Twitter.
And what'd he say?
I don't think he ever answered.
Oh, that's typical Ray. Aloof.
30 episodes, or shows, or whatever
getting
we're
old,
calling
dude. We're well over half a year here.
Yeah, it seems like just yesterday it was January.
I know.
We started the first podcast. We had countdown to Comic-Con.
Well, there's nothing to count down to anymore.
And here it is August. I suppose the Tucson Comic-Con we could start counting down towards.
Ray says he's not even going to go because it's too penny ante.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no, take your niece.
He doesn't want to, quote-unquote, spoil.
Take his nephews and nieces and nephews who are into it, spoil it. That's the wrong way to look at it. More likely, here's the way I would look at it. Introduce those guys. Bring Chris and his kids and let them buy some comics, right? And just have fun.
Exactly.
That's what Comic-Con's about. It's having fun. It's just not everything can be Phoenix Comic-Con, you know?
Well, not everything could be that. No,
We got to build a scene here. We got to encourage Comic-Con.
So I said, Ray, it's Tucson is like a big exhibitor floor. And he's all, well, I like that. And I'm thinking, well, then you'll like this. It's just a smaller version of that.
You can do it all in an afternoon. Last year,
Yeah, you can walk there.
we bought a 2-day ticket.
Yeah, you don't need a hotel room. We actually did go back the second day. I barely even remember the second day. I think we were all kind of tired and crabby that second day, but we did it.
It's the same as the first day.
A lot of walking. I remember talking to Brady about, dude, you're going with this? And he's like, I don't know. I still got to see if I can go. And it all worked out. Next thing we knew, we were eating $7 a slice pizza.
You're talking about Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Comic-Con. Yeah, I'm not buying no $7 slice of pizza in Tucson Comic-Con.
No.
I'll just walk somewhere if I'm that hungry. And hopefully, I think it's the beginning of the month, so I probably will have enough money to eat breakfast or something that day.
Yeah, it's going to be in June this time.
We're going to do a live podcast from it, right? Or somehow.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. One way or another, we'll podcast
Tucson
from
Comic-Con.
the Tucson Comic-Con.
Hashtag Tucson Comic-Con.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And maybe, if we're really smart, we'll meet the guys that are putting on this event, you know, and get in with them. That'd be fun. It's hard to like at Comic-Con at Phoenix, like we were networking and whatnot, but it's hard to follow through with that shit because it's Comic-Con and then you go home and come on, Marty.
Oh, normal life returns.
Yeah, and then it's hard to follow through with making those connections that you were, the networking.
Especially when you leave after a big fire alarm goes off. So
Yeah, it's freaky, yeah.
the day didn't quite end normal. It kind of seemed like, okay, everybody get out right now.
We're done with you.
Now, I know if we could have stayed around, they would have let us back in, but we didn't realize that at the time. So, besides, we had a movie to go see.
Now, Iron Man 3. You hear about the new Batman movie or the new Superman Batman?
Yeah, we briefly touched on that last week. Batman Superman movie. About time.
What about that Wolverine movie?
It's doing pretty decent at the box office. I feel like I already saw it after the trailer. So
Yeah.
the 12-minute trailers for movies nowadays, you feel like you've seen the whole thing.
I haven't seen the trailers that long. Where do you see that?
You know, when we went and saw Iron Man 3,
Oh, they showed a
they
trailer
showed a
for it?
trailer for it. I guess you guys were still out there trying to get the popcorn and whatnot. I went immediately into the theater. So, so I watched the Evil Dead remake.
Yeah.
I did not like that.
No?
No,
Wasn't scary?
it definitely was not scary. But it just, they need to just leave those movies alone. These horror movies from the 70s and 80s, just stop remaking them. They're fine the way they are, and you're putting way too much money into them, and they come out all glossy and shiny, and well, that you're removing everything that was creepy about it in the first place.
That first one was, when it came out, to me, it was like Blair Witch Project or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It seemed totally just underground. And they had one camera. That's what I'm figuring. One
Yeah.
camera. And they said, hey, let's just go in the woods and shoot this. And we got some makeup. And the scariest shit was like when the fucking the undead chick stabbed that dude in the foot with a pencil. With a pencil. The scariest thing you ever want to see.
Yeah, they didn't even bother to redo that part. Now, see, I think that the movie's biggest downfall was they tried to give us characters. No, I want 5 people to show up in the cabin and shit starts going nuts. I don't need to know about who some of them are.
Why
while as other characters, you don't tell me anything about. They're just there to get hacked up later. You can't have it both ways. Give it one or the other. It was kind of like, let's remake Evil Dead with real people in it. What? Now, they did get the cabin right. They rebuilt that very correctly.
Yeah.
Some of the lighting I thought was dead on. The music was good. But I forgot what I was watching at least 5 or 6 times. Because it just felt like any of the other
played Bruce Campbell's role, right?
I guess.
You don't even know that?
I mean, that's
was
probably
no
another
hero?
thing. There is no Ash. Now, you can argue in the first one, well, there really is no Ash anyway. It's just the one guy that happens to live, It's not like a
Survive,
personality comes through or anything. But, this one was, well, what kind of twist can we do? Oh, we'll have the woman survive, like in every other horror movie ever made.
So that's why they say she's like that character.
I guess. I want to see Evil Dead 2 redone as the same characters, but in a comedy. Because let's face it, Evil Dead 2 was just a remake of Evil Dead 1 in the first place.
Exactly.
And then Army of Darkness is just another remake, and now it's just
was
let's
more like
remake
a
the whole
Looney
thing.
Tunes version.
Evil Dead
of
2
Evil
is a
Dead.
cartoon.
Am I right?
Definitely. It is complete comedy. So it should be interesting to see if
What was that movie with
reboot
William Catt
continues.
back in the day? The House, or something.
Oh, House. Yes.
Where they had that character that looked there was like the evil thing that looked like Eddie from Iron Maiden.
Mm-hmm.
And remember that was kind of like, was that before or after Evil Dead 2?
Before.
It was very similar. Like they took elements of that, the zaniness or the weird, remember they chopped up that one dude and he got all like small.
Yeah.
And he came under the door
there
and all that shit.
There are similarities there now that you mention it.
I really love that movie because that dude looked like Eddie from Iron Maiden. That's what drew me to it.
They knew that's
some
what
Iron
was-
Maiden.
And we're not talking about House, that show about that doctor.
No. Although that's an okay show.
We're
if you're
talking
into
about
that.
House from 1986.
Yeah.
Which is a year before Evil Dead 2. Now, of course, there was House 2 that came out in 87.
I'm not from. I
Which is
probably
not
have
as
seen
good.
it. I probably have seen it because I used to have cable back then.
Oh, I'm
that
sure
was
you
a
did.
serious cable movie. It isn't like I saw that in the theater.
And then there was House 3.
Holy shit!
But it was not called House 3 here in the States. In the States, it was released as The Horror Show. And it had, it had Brian James in it from Blade Runner and Nemesis fame.
And Oh yeah, that guy's been in every movie.
Mm-hmm. And Lance
You mean
Henriksen.
Brian? How do they spell that name, Brian?
I believe there is a
O.
House 4, if
They
I'm...
spell Brian. That dude's name is spelled with an O.
Yeah, that's right. No A and O.
That's right, because he's Swedish or something.
Now, I will say the Evil Dead remake was better than Drag Me to Hell,
What is
in
that?
my opinion, which is another Raimi horror movie. He actually directed... And
You know what a real Raimi horror movie is?
Drag Me to
Spider-Man 3. Bada bing.
Spider-Man 3.
Bada bing. Horror movie.
I think I enjoyed Spider-Man 3 more than the Evil Dead remake.
Oh, really?
But I enjoyed the Nightmare on Elm Street remake more than the Evil Dead remake.
Oh, shit. You got to... Someday we...
But I will say the Friday the 13th remake is probably still the bottom of the pits for those. Now, the best remake, I thought, of the horror movies, anyways, of these type of slasher things, was Rob Zombie's Halloween, the first one. Part 2 was shit that he redid. It was horrible. Also, the Night of the Living Dead remake from 1990 is not bad, and neither is the Dawn of the Dead remake, now that I think about it. Shit, the Day of the Dead remake is better than the Evil Dead remake.
It's that bad.
But a lot of people would probably tell me I'm insane. But hey, I like weird shit, so you might watch it and go, "That was awesome. What are you talking about?" So that's the thing.
Evil Dead remake. Wow.
Well, you gotta love that thumbs up, thumbs down dynamic. That's why we used to watch Siskel and Ebert, to watch them argue with each other over the movies.
I used to watch them at the movies on PBS.
Oh yeah, I used to watch that
before anybody, or before they just worked in Chicago. They're just a couple of critics that worked at the Chicago Times, Sun Times, the Chicago Sun Times.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
One worked for the Tribune, one worked for the Sun Times.
Holy shit. Why does my brain work on certain levels and then other times it's totally useless?
Well, that's like a plus 30-year-old detail that you're trying to pull up.
But I did it. But I pulled it off. Well, why can't I do simple shit? Is it easier to remember shit that happened 30 years ago than it is shit that happened last week?
It's called long-term memory. That shit's stored.
What about last week?
That's in the short term. It's still processing on its way to becoming long-term memory. But that's a whole separate podcast. Next time on podcast 31, we will discuss... Well, we don't know what we'll discuss, because...
Marty's going to be here, and he's going to be all like...
I know I'll be here.
So will I.
I know Gene will be here.
Did we even introduce ourselves?
Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't.
Because I'm Gene.
I'm Marty.
And we've been doing these things for up to 20 years.
Yeah, if you really add it all up, it goes all the way back to at least 94. So
I don't know. I like to think it's getting a little bit better.
Yes.
Because we're trying to figure this out.
We don't have music in the background. We don't have all my friends running around insane. We don't have couch slugs. It's just a show now. We don't even have a picture anymore.
No, pictures. That costs too much.
We tried to do away with the picture years ago, and we got scolded for it.
Yeah.
Because apparently when you're doing television, you must have an image to go along with it. Or people think their TV's broken or something. But that's fun. It's called getting a reaction out of the, well, I guess in our case, the listener. I still want to say viewer. Like when Robert said, I'm on a TV show. Well, in a way, maybe this will end up on his TV show. Well, maybe not this episode, but the one he was on. Well, I'm talking in circles. I guess that Shack beverage helped.
Oh, yeah, tell him about your Shack beverage.
Well, we were going to go get Ray. He texted us and said, don't come. Okay, well, we were halfway down the street, but at least he, told us. And so we decided, let's go 7-Eleven or whatever. So we go in there, and I start pointing at the weird cans with funny pictures on them of these weird beverages. Now, this was just a soda. Doesn't even have caffeine in it. Certainly not an energy drink.
It's all natural.
And we said, let's try the Soda Shack beverages. I had a blueberry cream soda. Drank the whole thing in under 5 minutes, and...
Makes me think I'd have chugged this.
If we had... Let's put it this way. If we had done this podcast about 2 hours earlier, I probably would have talked as much as Gene did tonight.
Oh.
You do get quite a crash off of this one. But anyways, GMR.
GMR.